Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunday Spotlight. I'm your host, disgraced former NPR announcer Carl Stoles. Delighted to be with you all. Tonight we're going to get a little mellow with a stylish indie puzzle game that just released this past week, D1AL-ogue, a cyberpunk Android repair title. This one comes from the developer by the name of Cherry Picker. Couldn't find out much about them, actually, but this appears to be their debut title. Now, despite the thematic similarities, this is not connected to Valhalla, although one can very easily imagine this in the same universe and may well have been an inspiration. Now, one notable difference is this is entirely free. It's available right now for the click of a download button. Hard to beat that price, but is it worth your time? That is ever the more precious resource. What made Valhalla stand out was having just enough mechanical complexity to keep you busy with the narrative. Character bits is kind of a reward for progression, giving you a glimpse into a wider world of which you are a small but surprisingly integral part. There you're acting as the social grease that keeps people moving. Here you're physically fixing problems. Still, the overall appeal is very similar. I have a big appetite for comfy stuff in a cyberpunk setting. And I don't think I can keep the bit going anymore. But yes, this is obviously inspired by Valhalla, and I assume other cyberpunk comfy. It feels like there's a subgenre of doing a normal job in fantastical or science fiction-y settings, and usually they either explore the mechanical complexity of the job or they focus on the social interactions, the characters you meet. Do I think the Valhalla sequel will ever come out? We were talking about that in Discord. I don't know how long that's been in quote-unquote development now. I'm gonna hedge and say yes, but probably not anytime soon. Ah well, some ideas are just too beautiful to try again. But anyway, yeah, let's get this thing rolling. I'm very curious to see what they do to distinguish themselves. Hello, Michelle. How you doing over there? I seem to have gotten a bit used to life in Chroma City. Instead of the rising sun, I've started dividing my days by payment approvals and insufficient funds. The light monopolized by Sunshine Corp has replaced the sun, and most things are solved with price tags. I wish beer was the only thing I had to pay for. Right, price of beer went up again recently. Everything is going up, except for two things, the sun and my income. But Michelle, everything comes at a high price except for the value of labor. But I can find some stability, at least while I'm working. When I drifted here after we parted ways, I thought my incompetence was the reason for our breakup. And that thought still weighs me down. I can't say things are completely different now. But here, at least while I'm holding on to my work, that weight lifts, just for a moment. Regardless of how much I earn... Excellent timing, eyes. Thanks so much, very generous of you. But yeah, for that time at least, I have the assurance that I won't collapse. People I meet, conversations we have, what I've come to feel. I want to tell you about it. On the second floor of a commercial district, slightly away from the city center, repair clinic, D1AL-ogue. Place where the outside noise recedes with just a few words of small talk. Friends are dragging you off to video games? It's alright, Orange. Good to have you here. Yeah, fuck the Patriots. There's a sentiment I think pretty much all of us outside New England can get behind. Don't criticize my naming skills, because in Chroma City, they give estimates for heartbreaks and charge for repairs. Oh yeah, we are getting all the Cyber tropes here. Anyway, Michelle. Lame. I said the name is totally lame. Hey Chris, did you have a beer? What's with the sentimental nonsense this early in the morning? I was thinking about a customer from yesterday. I couldn't help it. Came in saying his portable virtual chip was stuck, but maybe it activated during repairs, because he started running around the room like crazy, swinging a leather belt at me. Thanks to him, my dial equipment almost bit the dust too. It's because you have such a shady and lame name. Only customers fitting that description would show up. Huh. Don't tell me. You're talking about the oasis of Chroma City, bathed in neon light. D1AL-ogue Repair Clinic? Our repair clinic is an all-around sanctuary that provides not just quick and accurate repairs, but also emotional stability through comfortable conversation. That shady name is exactly why EVEs needing repairs turn away and go elsewhere. Emotional stability for EVEs feels less shady and more like creepy. Is that why you habitually make EVEs wet themselves? What? Okay, this took a turn. To be precise, it's the act of discharging overheated coolant. Your phrasing is misleading. Same difference. What do you mean, same difference? You're probably the only one that describes it like that. Stop spouting nonsense so early and check your equipment already. You're not opening for business today. Used to love stories like this. I'm starting to see why these two broke up. Sometimes people are just destined to go in different directions. Seems like the hangover from yesterday's beer is pretty bad. And speaking of EVEs, why don't you replace that outdated equipment in your repair clinic? Using dial when D5... Yeah, good luck pronouncing that one. D5AL is already out is pretty disrespectful to them. What you're overlooking is that DXAL equipment is strictly specialized for diagnosis. Diagnostic performance was so good for the first generation that even with the 5th generation out, it hasn't improved dramatically. Then what's different? Main advancements are in unit synthesis. Convenience in the synthesis process, overclocking synthesized parts, firmware modification, etc. However, yeah, girls love it when you ramble on about technobabble related to your job. Absolutely do this, guys at home. I can make up for the dial's lagging synthesis performance purely with the touch of my fingertips. It's actually kind of impressive. Crucially, if I upgrade to a newer generation, why? Is there an extra subscription fee? There'd be no point in having registered the business as D1AL-ogue. Aha, yeah. So the name's there, he's got to keep the older software for branding purposes. Little Wet breathes vitality into a weary life, and also, seeing this strangely named repair clinic operating normally, I guess your skills really are unquestionable. Then, should be a breeze if I suddenly test you with the standard DXAL practice level 1 mock maintenance, right? Ooh, I think we're about to get a tutorial. Alright. Let's do it. Alright. So you can check damaged parts on the dial that would need repair right now. Hover over the damaged part to see the units. First, let's select a damaged part to repair. So, here. Alright. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got some, like, Mass Effect 1 style minigames happening here. Alright. Dial will consist of 4 layers and 6 indices. Each module can be moved by dragging it to swap places left. Right. Moving modules use dial's battery. Right, up here. So we got a limited number of moves. Oh, wait, hang on a second. So I guess slide that there. Ah, so it's kind of a match 3 thing. Fair enough. So, repair points. So, like here. Okay, no. It's this. These are the number of moves you can make in a single turn per se. All right. I got you there. Synthesize modules into a higher tier unit. Right. So, if we do... this... You synthesized modules 10 times consecutively. The battery overcharges and increases max capacity. Ah. Click battery to proceed. Right. Acquired units in the right panel. Alright, here we go. Acquire unit. This thing. Here we go. I have subscribed to the fake it till you make it school of Android repair. So if we move... synthesize the required unit and required... Here we go. Unless I need to move you... Okay, no. Alright, so we're a little more free to move than I thought. Ah, there it is. That's what was missing. I have to keep slotting parts out until I get the target unit. Makes sense. So, let's move you over here. Beautiful. Alright. Second verse, same as the first. Alright. This requires multiple types of units. Alright, so now we're going to get different kinds of dots. Okay. So the tiles that are marked with these special dots are going to be the specialized units that we need to get to their right location. Seems pretty straightforward. Just place the units according to colors to replace them. Can do. Alright. Blue goes here, and then needs one of these guys there. And... let's see. Do I automatically check that off? Yes. Outstanding. Man. Complex technical repair is easy in the future. Alright, so this is actually a little more straightforward than I thought. Alright. Check unit appearances by tier on the phone by pressing tab. Alright, this tells us a little bit about the different modules. Alright. Power source acting as the unit's heart, supplies energy required for total. Gauge bar on the left. Interesting. Charges the corresponding types when 4 more modules are synthesized. Okay. Fully charged. Click the gauge, then a module of another type unit. Oh, okay, so this will let us convert modules. Right. So, I believe we can change you to the target module. Nice. Alright. Are we in the right spot? Oh, yep. No, we're not. We need, this thing. Alright. That's it. Alright. So you combine these little dots here, and they make the bigger dots, and that goes into the slot they need to go. It's an industry term. Yeah. Can I call false advertisement? This is bullshit. Don't be mad because I make this look good. Satisfied now? Honestly, I knew you ran a repair clinic, but I didn't know you were this skilled. I'm having a hard time reading Michelle's tone here. I can't feel like... I can't get a sense whether she is being patronizing or she genuinely still cares about what Chris is up to. Alright. I see you in a new light. This is nothing. I want to attract EVE customers to this strangely named repair clinic of yours. I can't tolerate a single maintenance error. First impressions are most important wherever you go. If you care so much about that, why don't you erase that suspicious slogan on the front door? Besides, there needs to be comfort during the repair process for them to feel emotionally stable and open up. I just can't understand that creepy philosophy of yours. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's fine to... I imagine chatting with an android you are working on is a little different than, like, God, what even would be the nearest equivalent? Like, talking to a person while you're doing, while you're giving them a physical or something? But, you know, you've got, like, their, like, back open up, and you've got their circuitry. You're messing with their circuitry. There's no real human comparison to that. You're not going to be having deep conversations with a person while you're, like, replacing a part of their skull or something. Anyway. Alright. Maybe it's because of the beer I had yesterday, but it feels a bit stiff. Alright. Anyway. Welcome. This is Repair Clinic Dialogue. Hey, it's the title girl. Hey, Chris. Ah, Prey. What brings you here at this hour? What about your cafe shift? You watching the popular show airing these days? Buff Girl O'Hara? I like the sound of this. I don't know anything about this, but just going from the title, it sounds very promising. What are you talking about all of a sudden? Are you watching it? I do watch it every week, but this will be quick. In yesterday's episode, do you remember the scene where O'Hara smashed Miss Blind with a magical pile driver? Ooh, alright. O'Hara rarely gets pushed into a corner, so seeing her fight back with a double nosebleed and crush Blind's neck for a comeback was quite a twist in many ways. Okay, so I think this is like future, like, Japanese wrestling or something. It sounds fascinating. What exactly are you trying to say? The villain showed up at our shop and they look like they desperately need that pile driver. I knew you'd understand. I only understood that you have a difficult customer. Could you speak a bit more clearly? They say he's a bigwig from Sunshine Corp. He claims his mere visit is a favor to this crappy shop, and threatened that he could turn off all the neon shines in this district with a single word. A different routine every day. I envy how today is unlike yesterday. Shut up. Anyway, thanks to that big shot, it's been nothing but new stability officer faces all morning. Those guys are hard to find when you actually need them, but they swarm like rats for this. I thought there was a terrorist attack or something. So that's what happened. What brings such a person to a backwater like this? I don't know the details, but it seems he came to negotiate with the manager of this commercial district. Something about increasing the neon shine subscription fees around here starting next month. And removing the free neon shine streetlights. So I feel like we're getting a, like, Tales from the Neon Sea vibe here. Or, Tales of the Neon Sea, my bad. But yeah, with the whole thing where you've got, like, the whole sky blocked out. In this case, it seems like it was specifically done so people would pay for subscriptions to Sunshine, which is fucked, but also exactly the kind of thing I could see some unscrupulous corporation doing once we can trivially do mega structures on top of a city. Anyway, controlling the light. His actions are just like Mrs. Blind. See why I brought up Buff Girl? If Mrs. Blind has appeared in reality, then a magical pile driver isn't out of the question either. Can you go and try it? Okay, I think our android, like, assistant here wants us to go attack a corporate officer, and I think they've completely misunderstood what we do for a living. Howdy and hello from the land of 1964's Devil Doll, about an evil hypnotist, ventriloquist with a possessed dummy who plots to steal and heiress millions and makes everyone in the audience fall asleep by the end. Holy shit. Now that's a premise. I'm morbidly curious. But hey, Zero, settle in. Good to have you here. Alright. I wanted to pour coffee on his face, but now I feel a bit better. Right. And if you're really going to try it, be careful. The security is intense. You could get arrested just for keeping your hands in your pockets. Then again today, my secret power will remain hidden. Anyway, raising subscription fees is a pretty big deal. I was thinking of subscribing to a hologram figure for my lonely room, but with the increased fees, it'll be tight. Same here. Really? EVs are relatively free from LDS, so do you really need to subscribe to Neon Shine? Zero gets it. Yeah, this is the title girl, and apparently our assistant here at the shop. It's only relatively free. If our condition worsens, data loss occurs, and we could have problems more serious than humans. Plus, I've got someone to look after. You mean Remy? Remy is family. It's a cat. Does being a cat mean it can't be family? Yeah, she gets it. You better watch your words in front of our Remy. Prey showed her claws, adopting an aggressive cat-like stance. I like this girl already. Please forgive me. I'll make an exception this time. Because I'm generous. Exactly. Cat is absolutely family. Anyway, if the fee goes up, I'll have to give up on the item I was planning to buy. What were you thinking of getting? Buff Girl Collection collaboration merch? They're doing a collaboration with a neural stimulation unit for EVEs. If protagonist does not appreciate cat, I can rehome the girl and cat. They announced that pre-orders will start on the day the last episode airs. Things people come up with. What do you mean the things they come up with? This collaboration product is amazing. They said when the empathy unit activates and overloads, it shakes your cognitive abilities, creating the illusion of transforming. Alright, so in the future, our anime shows will have, like, some sort of SimSense integration and, like, emotional wiring for androids. I don't know. I feel like that's inviting a whole host of difficult technical issues to resolve and could lead to a lot of, like, unstable behavior. I don't know. I don't want my androids, like, getting reality and fiction confused. Which is a hell of a sentence. But anyway, basically another way of saying you must buy this. Aren't the expressions shakes cognitive abilities and illusions of transforming seriously suspicious? Yeah, see, he gets it. You're making a fuss over nothing. Besides, considering the chips you usually use, I don't think you're in a position to talk. What do you say? Those are legitimately released VR chips. You know, yeah, see, she found Chris's VR porn stash, and she's using that to blackmail him so he'll fund her, like, niche interests. I'm starting to think these two might actually be made for each other. Alright. I have no intention of respecting your taste, but if I may give a piece of personal advice... That's already happening, yeah. In a repair clinic where EVEs are the main customers, displaying chips with covers showing EVEs and humans getting intimate doesn't seem like a very good choice. Okay, yeah, dude, come on, you gotta hide your power level a little on this. I just frequently put used items where they're easy to see. It's inevitable in a workshop with lots of tools. I feel like I just heard some terrible information. If you're lonely, why don't you find a lover? Oh yeah, it's that easy. Certainly not on my salary. As if she didn't want to hear it. Did she foresee what I was going to say? And can I ask for a simple repair? I need to create an excuse to tell the boss. Sure, repairs are always welcome. Alright. Create an excuse for Prey's absence. This ought to be interesting. Alright, so what do we got here? Unidentified component found. Nanocatalyst design mismatch controversy. Controversy is erupting after an unidentified molecular component not listed in official blueprints was discovered in the nanocatalyst mandatorily inoculated to Chroma City citizens. In addition to identification and data collection, nanocatalysts perform the core function of forcibly inducing serotonin secretion in reaction to night shine to prevent LDS, light deficiency syndrome, caused by sunlight deprivation. So yeah, this is a very cyberpunk, like, galaxy brain plan. Let's black out the sun! Now we're causing health problems. Alright, we'll give people like nanotech to combat this. For a subscription fee, of course. You know they would if they could get away with it. Anyway, precise modular and molecular analysis of recently extracted nanocatalyst samples confirmed the presence of an unidentified element non-existent in the standard specifications released by authorities. While Chroma authorities maintain it is merely an impurity generated during catalyst aging, their passive response, failing to provide technical evidence to support this claim, is only amplifying suspicions. New dawn for EVE maintenance. Last night, Sunshine Corp unveiled the D6AL, a 6th-generation architecture diagnostic lens that moves away from traditional manual mechanic work to fully automate the maintenance process. This new product eliminates cumbersome manual synthesis and part replacement, features proprietary real-time autonomous calibration technology that minimizes human intervention, maximizing system precision and maintenance efficiency. Sunshine Corp stated that introducing the D6AL will replace outdated, imperfect maintenance methods and enable immediate, data-driven system recovery and optimization. Okay. What's this about Buff Girl O'Hara? Yeah, okay. I think I see where this is going. The hit series Buff Girl O'Hara, currently ranking #1 in streaming charts and real-time interest, is reaching peak hype ahead of its finale on February 3rd. Capitalizing on the show's success, the distributor unveiled the collaboration custom unit, Orhasm Buff, set for official release on February 4th, the day after the finale. The Orhasm Buff draws attention with a design inspired by O'Hara's champion belt. Notably, it replaces traditional manual operation with an automated sympathetic nerve stimulation function via feedback loop. The product features forced photonic neural network update technology to control system overhead caused by continuous sympathetic stimulation. Man. I know this is good. I know that's standard for cyberpunk settings to be fucked in some way, socially, technologically. But we are hitting that pretty hard right out the gate, my friends. Anyway, let's help Prey with her boss here. Alright. Let's open her up. Alright. So, target points here. So we need to get these little bullseye units to appear. I'm working on it. Alright. So we do a match 3 to generate some tiles. There's one. Slot that feller over here. Beautiful. And there's another one. Nice and easy now. Hey! Don't you think the name Neon Shine is super tacky? Like a middle-aged man trying to look cool? I agree with that part. It sounds like a name where they changed one syllable from Neon Sign. Celebrated themselves for being extremely witty. Yeah, are we allowed to show such things on Twitch? I know, right? Nobody tell the Twitch cops. It's really a comedy that the person agreeing with that has a repair clinic with a name just as bad. I get no respect, I tell you. Alright, so... simple fix here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. What exactly does the stimulation from the empathy unit feel like? I only learned about it in theory, but I was curious since I never felt it myself. It's similar to humans. If humans feel it through muscle contraction, blood flow changes, and hormone secretion, for EVEs that's just replaced by the empathy unit. Stimulating this directly gives quite a pleasurable feeling. So, is it like an orgasm? Oh, Jesus Christ, Chris! Can you be a little delicate about this? Probably the closest thing. And what about the collaboration merch you mentioned earlier? I was just curious about what it feels like to transform. They say power surges through you. Sure, whatever. So yeah, we're basically working on a robot weeb here. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna judge. I'm just saying I find the idea highly entertaining. Right. I think we've almost got the charge up here. We can change one of these. Maybe not quite. Yeah, no. Never mind. Let us slot you over here. There's your boy. Easy fix. Alright, rock and roll. A stiff back feels completely refreshed. Is that what it feels like when O'Hara purifies her body with brief seed? Is it okay to mention my crude repair in the same breath as something so noble? Crude? You're too strict with yourself. So, again, I couldn't find a lot of information about the developer. It appears to be a solo effort, but I couldn't find any information about the developer themselves or where they're from. I'm assuming the dialogue has this vague feeling of English as second language, but for the most part, it reads easily enough and does have kind of that anime feel to it. It feels like something that has been translated at some point. Just no, I don't have any information about what it's being translated from, so I'm kind of curious about what the details are in this case. Anyway, save that talk for after you buy me a beer. You make a fuss even when I compliment you. What a personality. I noticed earlier your power unit was screaming again. Aren't you overworking yourself lately? Must be because a lot of zombies been gathering in front of the shop lately. They practically set up camp there. You mean flicker patients high on drugs? Usually they just stumble around spouting nonsense. No, those are blackouts. Oh yeah, it's a completely other degenerative neural condition. Awesome. It's a state where even radical methods like electronic drugs can't prevent damage to the frontal lobe and neural network. You can consider their ego and personality data virtually destroyed. The holo display on the right and the bunny on the upper left. Oh yeah. There's some cute things here. Actually, can we click on anything in this room? Doesn't appear like it. Yeah, probably not in dialogue. Lately, the media just seems to call them zombies instead of severe LDS patients. I've been here a while, but I thought they were just drug addicts. Drug addicts are probably better off than them. Aren't they both equally in the gutter? At least junkies have their infinite love of drugs left. Blackouts are worse. Seeing them throw away their family, lovers, and property without hesitation, isn't that the perfect expression? It's like, if it's not you, the world doesn't matter. Truly an impossible devotion. In contrast, blackouts are like empty shells with even their desires gone. They wander around following the light by instinct. And when they find neon shine, they swarm like gnats and won't leave. Chasing light suggests they still have at least minimal desires left. If you saw them, you'd think I'm exactly right. They aren't moving to find light. It's just that it's the only stimulus left that they can react to. If they crawled around looking for light normally, maybe you'd be right. Of course, they would become something even more terrible. As I recall, the shop you work for has a floor-to-ceiling glass window on one side. Right, clearing away the gnats that gather there is one of my daily tasks. It's probably the cause of 80% of my power unit overloads. And the other 20% is because of that idiot removing streetlights? Exactly. Every day must be tough. Gives me a headache just thinking about how much tougher it's going to get. You know what? You know that? Happiness and unhappiness are influenced more by future events than the present. Wasn't that a study on human psychology? Humans and EVEs are pretty much the same. You realize that statement conflicts heavily with your critique of my taste for the repair? I come back because I respect it. Oh. My head feels like exploding as it is. You have to make me say such useless things. If you plan to keep wrecking me to rip off repair fees, you better be prepared. Yeah, you can't just fix a girl and not have to take responsibility, Chris. You gotta step your game up here. I'm sorry, customer Prey Emery. Stop joking, I have to go now. Even a justified absence is a problem if it drags on. I don't want to get fired and become a zombie rubbing my face against a glass window. By now the streetlight idiot should have left the shop too. You're sharp. Good sense as always. It was a pleasant conversation today, Prey. Me too. See you later, Chris. As I'm expected, distracted by the chat. It's already time for lunch, so take a break. Yeah, man, you worked on a whole one customer. Alright. That'll do her. What are my other options here? I'm curious. Alright, so... Right, that's text messaging. And that's just news. Right, onward. An EVE stood before me, though there was no sound of the door opening. Oh yeah, this girl looks, she looks like trouble. Despite her polite attitude and likable first impression, I couldn't feel quite at ease. All TN-DLS modules are government-affiliated EVEs, usually distinguishable by the department mark. But I couldn't see any mark on the EVE before me, nor was there any other way to confirm her affiliation. Of course, nothing official in Chroma City was particularly trustworthy, but I reacted unusually sensitively to that mark. Prey says I'd look at that mark with eyes of a sinner, which probably isn't polite behavior towards a customer. Before we start, excuse me, may I ask what specific purpose you're specialized for? If it's military, private maintenance is illegal. Ah, you wouldn't know since I'm not wearing protective gear on my day off. I am Orca O'Hara from the Urban Recovery Agency of Chroma City. You just call me Orca for short. Although designed for rescue and disaster recovery operations, I'm a model equipped with multi-purpose functions like other EVEs to reduce citizens' aversion. Rescue. You have quite an ordinary appearance for someone deployed to rough sites. In fact, it wasn't an ordinary appearance. Rescue specialized TN-DLS modules possess an appearance generally considered beautiful to reduce aversion. That's because we mostly rely on external equipment. Kinda is, yeah. Oh, I missed that. Hang on a second. The design direction of the model also has the motto, Universal Fit. Unlike how it looks, there are many places to attach external equipment. Alright, so she's a robot that uses heavy machinery for her job. Fair enough. This is for attaching the powered exoskeleton during entry. This is for the instantaneous thrust engine, and the tail part. It's quite embarrassing to watch her lift parts of her body here and there to introduce her model, but Orca seemed unaware of it and chatted excitedly for several minutes. How is it? I understand very well that it's not military. Besides that, nothing. I was just trying to apologize for being rude earlier out of surprise. This is indeed a game about opening up hot robot chicks, Ivory. That is the entire stated premise. Anyway, right. It's because kind people are rare towards government-affiliated EVEs. If you thought I was similar to others, then that's normal. That makes sense. What kind of maintenance are you here for? I was recently assigned here, so I need to submit an inspection confirmation by tomorrow. There aren't any major problems, so it shouldn't take long. Looks that way, but you never know until you check. I'll boot up the maintenance console, so please wait a moment. Perhaps because everyone is preparing for Polar Night Day, the streets are intensively lively, aren't they? Polar Night Day, one of Chroma City's prides and the pride of prides. A holiday unique to this city and a festival ground. I had even forgotten that it wasn't far off. It's a holiday unique to this city. Okay, yeah, we're getting some redundancy here. This dialogue feels like it kind of use a second editorial pass. Did you come for sightseeing before? You don't have to say if it's hard to talk about. No. A few years ago, I visited Chroma City due to a support request. It just happened to be Polar Night Day. There was a support request even in nearby cities? Yes. Back then, I was working in Luminance City, located below Chroma City. Oh, we are getting Tales of the Neon Sea. Kick ass. That setting was great. Complete chaos. The violence and confusion amidst the cheers of the festival were shocking even to me. A hologram panorama covering the sky, and below it, explosions mixed with smoke. Must have been terrible. Yes, screams mixed with beautiful night views and hopeful music are quite shocking. The show went on as if indifferent to the tragedy, and most of the crowd was too intoxicated by the festival to even know what was happening. The organizers, who knew about the accident, went along with it too. It was probably because of the budget. The hologram panorama called Chroma chromatic zenith as one of Chroma City's prides. Another one, right? They say it's for the citizens' sense of belonging, but they pour an astronomical budget into it because it's an event that generates huge tourism revenue. Too much money had already been poured in to cancel it just because an accident had occurred. Alright, that's pretty much on brand. We're basically getting the mayor from Jaws behavior here. Yeah, actually, it is completely free. It's worth a look, Zero. Basically, again, if you like stuff like Valhalla, this is doing it. I'm not completely sold on the characters just yet, but I'm warming up to the style of it. This is absolutely a kind of comfy game where you just sort of let the setting occur at you as you solve a simple set of logic puzzles. Anyway, excluding talk of budget and compensation, all that's left in Chroma are patience. Not that I like it, but it's the unavoidable reality. That's sad. I'm sorry, I unintentionally said something depressing. It's just reality. Nothing is as boring as realistic talk. Living day by day, whether you like it or not, is reality. Even an interesting show gets boring if you watch it hundreds of times. So it's hard for the story of a day repeated thousands of times to be interesting. It's natural to be drawn to stories of vacation escapades or figures bought on impulse, rather than talk of neon shine subscription fees or utility bills. I can't accept it rationally, but I have to empathize experientially. Most hobbies are, after all, escapes from ordinary daily life. That's why people go crazy for Polar Night Day. And tourists visiting from the other side of the globe to see the chromatic zenith. Because coming tomorrow isn't enjoyable, because they're tired of reality. They close their eyes and ears and force them to shout that they are happy now. Wanting to run away from pain is one of human instincts. Oop, it sounded creaky like my dial equipment again. 0 points for a sales pitch, right? Sometimes creaking makes you sound alive, whether machine or human. But by any chance, are you doing maintenance with a first-generation dial? Don't worry too much. I've safely repaired TN DLS models several times with this rugged friend. Why does the word safely sound so scary? Oh, the dial is ready. Shall we begin? Alright. So yeah, looks like I can't actually click on anything in here. Ah well. Anyway. Let's open up Orca here. Alright. Hey, Branch. Yeah, this is basically Hot Android Girl Repair Game. The game. So what do we got here? Looks like we need to get some... Alright, so we need these modules here. We don't have them on the board yet. Let us slot you over here. Alright. That's one. So that fella needs to go 1, 2, 3. There we are. Outstanding. And we need to get the other guy here. Beautiful. Slide you over like so. Slide you over like so. There's your boy. Nice and easy now. Alright. Sit tight, Orca. We'll have you shipshape in no time. Please feel free to tell me if there's any discomfort or awkwardness. No, it's much more comfortable than I thought. My worries before the maintenance were pointless. So I get the feeling Orca's kinda literal-minded here. Just stating things very matter-of-factly. Please be a little gentler. Yeah, I'm working on it. Area is densely packed with neural elements. It's very, this wasn't marked as adult content, but I have the feeling we're going to get suggestive in that typical anime misunderstanding way. What did the circular bejeweled nonsense? That's pretty much what we're dealing with, yeah. Alright, so we need to make some yellow connections here. That'll do. Easy does it. There's that, and one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's good enough. HTN-DLS model had one unique organ, right? That's right, because each model specializes in a different purpose. I've often seen animal ears or reverse joint types, but this is my first time seeing a tail. EVEs are the Scarlet Response Unit under the Urban Recovery Agency, to which I belong, are all TN-DLS models. Yeah, oh no, they're showing feet. How scandalous. Fascinating. Usually, what's this tail used for? In our case, we mainly use it to clear broken debris, or to break down walls to enter. For something used for such a rough purpose, didn't you say it was a sensitive part earlier? The external armor is a high-strength special alloy, so it's fine in the field. But when opened internally for maintenance, it's almost defenseless. No comment. Alright. Part 3. Easy does it, so... I'll slot you there. Touch the tail. Do eat. I don't know... Yeah, again, you can't really poke at or interact with everything. This is entirely a game about puzzles. We are here to have a professional business relationship with these young ladies. What do we got here? Let's slot you over here. That's the stuff. Down and over. Mazel tov. As you said, it was a regular checkup. There were no major problems, so it finished quickly. Next, you're gonna hold her hand to get banned for uncensored lewdness. Some robots on the city council watching how we do work, and they're like, "Ban this sick filth!" That unknown heavy feeling that was dragging me down has disappeared. No, it's more than that. It's refreshing. Manager, you have quite an interested look in your face right now. What's this? Orko's reaction was so vivid that I focused without realizing it. I'm glad you're satisfied. I should be thanking you. Feels similar to that unique sensation when speeding through the city center on a bike. Roaming Chroma City while feeling the wind directly. You have a bolder hobby than I thought. Yes. In Luminance City, my hobby is riding a bike to get some air on my days off. I don't have a car in the first place, and I like bikes. And I prefer the openness of a bike to the enclosed space of a car. That peculiar stimulation where the gaze of others mixes into the liberating feeling of being open on all sides. It feels really good. Yeah, I'm getting some interesting... Like, the waveform of her behavior is kind of all over the place. On the one hand, there's a very literal-minded sense to her dictation and the way she puts together thoughts. But on the other hand, she's a very liberated young lady, and I salute that, really. I apologize for the roughness during the maintenance. No, it's just because I'm particularly sensitive compared to the same model. Because you kept talking to me in between, I felt reassured at the end that it didn't hurt at all. What the fuck? Oh, man. So far as I know, this was not advertised as a dating sim, so I imagine that will not be a component of gameplay. Also, you know, I imagine even in the future, it's still kind of unethical to ask a client out, even if your client is mechanical. Ah, well. We're all about professionalism here at D1AL-ogue. Just replaced a few neural units to suit the environment lacking photonic data. You mean because there's a lack of light? Exactly. Both humans and EVEs cannot live without sunlight. That's why subscribing to Neon Shine is practically essential in Chroma City. So that's why my colleagues asked if I subscribed to Neon Shine. Because unlike its Chroma, yeah, again, we're getting some evidence of dialogue that could use a bit of touching up here. But anyway, you won't have problems due to the lack of light. They made survival a paid service. Chroma claims it's the same logic as food being paid. Someday, we might even get billed for breathing. Yet, don't give them ideas now, Chris. Still, EVEs are a bit better off. Humans can fall into depression if Neon Shine is cut off for just 2 days. They called it LDS, right? Correct. Stands for Light Deficiency Syndrome. Simply put, it's a disease caused by not receiving light. Excuse me. I don't know that it's a disease, per se. It sounds more like a psychological disorder. The body's signaling system gets tangled, and for EVEs, noise accumulates in the photonic neural network. The depression and power drop you felt recently are probably due to this. My external equipment felt heavier than usual after coming to this city. It wasn't just my imagination. Body and mind are inseparable. Psychology inevitably changes according to the state of the body. It's funny for me in EVE to say this, but it's very mechanical. You know, humans are machines too, in a sense. Humans are similar, just the difference between metal and flesh. Most psychiatric drugs treat psychological. Yeah. Where's the rest of my coffee? Most psychiatric drugs treat psychological problems by regulating hormones. There's a tongue twister. Yeah, I get what this is trying to do, but it's over-explaining the obvious things and under-explaining some stuff that actually requires some exposition. Yeah, I think that's the issue. There's a lot of filler banter that is belaboring the point and re-emphasizing certain things that are well established. Like, you can probably leave the specifics of the company, like... You could probably leave the specifics of what the company is doing in the background and occasionally bring it up, and the focus should probably be more on the personality and the, like, personal lives of the people you're interacting with. That's the really interesting stuff that makes the... Basically, these characters are your window into the world, and the reason you care about the cyberpunk stuff happening in the background. Anyway, much obliged, eyes. Picone is always welcome. Anyway, personally, I don't see any reason to distinguish between humans and EVEs. Chris is trying to pose as the enlightened. Humans and robots are all the same. And, you know, I mean, that would obviously be the case in this setting, but he has an ulterior motive, I sense, is the thing. And that philosophy created this repair shop. It's quite cool. Personal conversation is a core service of dialogue. Anyway, you said today was your day off, right? That's right. I've been hectic with moving and dispatch calls for a few days, but finally it's a break. Actually, there are no dispatches, it's mostly playtime. Moving alone sounds terrible. I agree with that, but it's over. Do you have any recommended place for a change of mood? I recommend the cafe on the first floor of the building opposite. I saw it coming here. Name started with you mean Retro Jan? What was it? Retro Jan. Pronunciation is a bit odd. I suppose it's like Retro-Jan. Oh, okay, so that's some play on words there. Trojan, I get it. Okay, yep. They're gonna spell it out. It's as unusual a name as this place. Right. I heard from the owner that it's a combination of retro and Trojan virus. Contains the ambition to infiltrate retro trends like a Trojan virus into this flashy high-tech city. Alright, Chris, now you're kind of, like, explaining it, and that kind of kills it. You need to let the wordplay sit in the background. The more you draw attention to it, the less punch it has. It's a retro concept cafe that's hard to find these days. And drinking the owner's hand-dripped coffee is the joy of my life. See, now I can relate to this man. Yeah, you really don't just need to spend 12 messages on explaining this, my good Dev. One more thing. Avoid places with too many people. In this season, scenes of people densely gathered often lead to scenes being taken away by stability officers. Thanks for the advice, Chris. When the night gets too long, people tend to get sensitive, even if they are stability officers. Thinking of this city's stability officers, like police in other cities, is troublesome. Still, there's no harm in being careful. I should quietly enjoy this festive year-end atmosphere by myself. Have a good time, Orca. Thank you. See you next time. It's already evening. I should call it a day. Alright. Rock and roll. I guess Leanne is going to be our next one? Interesting. Alright. It's dark and gloomy all day again today. Oop, we got another thing here. Polar Night Day. Intensive crackdown period announcement. Oh, man. Did another, like, riot happen? This is an announcement from the Urban Stability Agency. Oh, God. The acronym on that just really drives some shit home. Anyway, in celebration of Polar Night Day, Chroma City's largest festival, a special intensive crackdown period will be in effect from today until the end of the festival. This measure aims to prevent social disorder during the festival and maintain the homeostasis of the urban system. During this period, nanocatalyst scanning by stabilizers will be significantly intensified across Chroma City. In particular, illegal procedures under the guise of LDS prevention and use or distribution of unauthorized private neon shines are strictly prohibited. Citizens are requested to fully cooperate with scanning procedures at temporary checkpoints installed in each district. Warning: any act detrimental to the stability of the urban system will be subject to immediate administrative action without exception. Yeah, this gives me some... I feel like this is that scene in Minority Report where they like send in those little spider bots to like scan everybody in a building. Something kind of like that is what comes to mind. Now that there's hardly any day left, it's hard to even see a gray night. Thanks to that, my body feels even stiffer. If I stay still, I'll only feel more drained, so let's hurry and open up shop. Alright. Are Mom and Dad saying they won't come to see the Chromatic Zenith again this year? Just like every year, yeah. What about you? Needless to say, me neither. I really don't get why no one goes. When we were kids, they used to drag us there every year, even when we said we didn't want to go. You know how many years ago that was? More coffee! You know how many years ago that was? Mom and Dad are getting old now, so it's hard for them to go to crowded and chaotic places. I'm too far away to go, so if you want to go that badly, why not go with a girlfriend? You're picking a fight with me right now, aren't you? Look at your age. Go outside and meet people. Even better if it's a woman. You can't stay up all night in your room drinking beer forever. The day I fall asleep rolling around in bed with a woman in this city, there's a high chance I won't open my eyes ever again the next day. And an article will pop up on the news on the main page. Victim, Chris J. Hayes, 22, found in a motel with organs harvested. That confidence of yours is a problem, Chris. Yeah, I feel like Chris is he's got some trust issues here. Like, not literally every, like, brothel is going to be a front for an organ harvesting operation. Only most of them. You gotta, like, get some references. You gotta check some reviews. This is the future. There's gonna be, like, Cyber Yelp that tells you where you can trust. Yeah, go out with your Eve, duh. Yeah, I feel that, Octal. Anyway, it's disgusting to say it myself, but objectively, you're decent looking. Blech. Let's stop. So if you want to go see that Chromatic Zenith that much, just go alone. If I have to go alone, I won't go. Shouldn't I at least have someone to take my side if I get into a fight? Then what are you going to do that day? I have no choice but to drown my Polar Night day in beer while watching Dokim's stream again this year. That's how I'll spend my Polar Night day. Stream my foot. You're planning to stay up all night with your beloved Silicone, aren't you? Yep, she gets us. How do you... Wait, you've never even been in my room. Be progressive. Clank the clanker. You're single too. Probably sitting in that corner of your room alone. Hello, Chris. You look excited. Yeah, sorry, miss. I'm just arguing with my on-again, off-again girlfriend here. Did you manage to get that figure you wanted? I like that she's got reinforced knuckles here. Something tells me that despite her nice appearance, she has probably punched a motherfucker. And also note that the spike on top of the, like, hair strand here, this is a lady that is a retired combat model, and she's now, like, working as a teacher or something. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Miss Leanne, I'm sorry. I was looking at something else. Can you wait just a moment? A pity. I wanted to share in your joy. You look good now, but the expression you had just now, which you don't share when you're with me, had a pure smile. What you're saying is wife material, right? I mean, you know, she looks like a very nice lady that might have disemboweled someone or two, like a couple people with her bare hands. So yes, absolutely wife material. Okay, so I misunderstood the relationship. Michelle is his younger sister. Alright. That makes a bit more sense. She's a funny kid who tries to tear me down every day. Ah, the one you often talk about? Miss Leanne took a deep breath and... I'm sure the reinforced knuckles is just for some very intense typing. Yeah, she's from a completely different game. A cyberpunk typing simulator. If it's a younger sister, I can understand. In fact, I might even have to try to get close to her. So, okay, I think she is actually going for some, She's going for it here. You got some options here, Chris. I remember you had your regular checkup recently. I had some business nearby, so I thought I'd drop by and see your face. Oh, come on, man. This is a softball right down the plate. You gotta go for this. I also stopped by because I thought I might need to replace my processing unit as a bonus. Bonus, yeah. The wife material is trying to husband you. When I first saw you, I thought you'd never come back. But now you visit even without a reason. I told you I came to replace my processing unit. You said it was a bonus. Didn't you come to check on me? If not, I'll take a look at you quickly. Alright, you win. I came here to complain. Okay, tell me. For a ridiculously shady repair clinic, Yet you come back to it several times, so you must like it. There's a quiet, uncrowded comfort here. A quiet place and slightly cool air are good for getting sentimental. Thanks to that, I can completely let loose. Are you complimenting me by saying there are no customers? Yes, it's a compliment. Since you say so, I'll take it as a compliment. What's today's complaint? Miss Leanne frowned, as if just thinking about it was unpleasant. It's quite a look on your face. Huh? Oh, was I? Sorry, when the processing unit connected to emotional expression gets overloaded, my mood swings become severe and I can't hide them. I don't want to show you that expression anymore. Can I get maintenance first? It's possible, but... Alright, repair Leanne with extreme mood swings. Oh yeah, she has absolutely eviscerated a dude, like... And she probably did it with a... This angle, goddamn. Oh, man. It was a very lonely engineer that put you together, Leanne. I know, right? Okay, so we need 3 of these small dots and 1 of these bigger ones. Alright, big guy goes on this side. Let's get cracking. So... Slide you over like so. That'll do nicely. Slide you over. Alright, easy fix here. Easy fix here. And... damn it. There we go. Easy fix there. And we need one of them fellers over here. Let us scoot you over here.
Hey! Oh!
Alright. There we go. Almost there. Alright. Every time I visit here, you're on the phone with your sister. Aw, thanks, Zero. It's my routine right after opening for business. Picking a fight with my sister. I'd like to join in that routine next time. You, Miss Leanne? I heard that in human society, it's polite to greet the other person's family before the main event. Jesus. Dude. This is... Some people give off... some people are subtle when they flirt, some are overt. This is hiring a skywriter and putting up billboards to announce it, man. Alright. Anyway, right. And somehow Chris is oblivious. This dude is destined to be a harem protagonist someday. And the kind that just, like, never fucking gets it. Yeah, a being of immense density, yeah. Shiro would be proud. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, I feel that, Octal. I have basically no ability to determine if I am being flirted with. It'll just slowly, it'll occur to me, like, years later, and I'll be like, oh, that's probably what that was. Oh, well. Anyway, what do you think about the increasing romance between humans and EVEs? Jesus. Chris, get the fucking message, alright? She's writing you a fucking novel's worth of them. For someone who's never even been in a relationship with a human, that's too abstract a question for me to answer. Really? Just that one word from you has completely tilted my opinion to the pro side. Miss Leanne, the temperature of your emotion unit is rising. It's dangerous, so please calm down during maintenance. You know what? This is... I am experiencing some sympathy cringe here, but there's a part of me that's unironically kind of loving this. Like, Chris is just so dense, it's kind of great. Alright, here we go. Beautiful. Alright, now we need to get one there. Beautiful. Maintenance is done without any problems. Your maintenance today was exceptionally smooth. Yeah, unlike your flirt game, man. Pick up some fucking signals. Touch of yours skillfully deviling into my secret corners, waiting for a chance to resist. I can't deal with this, man. Whose core other than mine have you guarded us with such care? You know what? I'm on board. This is so dumb it kind of rules. Customers who visit this repair clinic are the entirety of my social interactions. Yeah, see, she doesn't... You see the shadow under his eyes? She doesn't like this guy associating with other androids. She's gonna get possessive and murdery, and we're gonna find out, like, tomorrow there's gonna be, like, 6 people dead after she found your client list and hunted every single one of them down. Yeah. Ivory gets it. Thanks to a wonderful person like you visiting, it feels like even this bleak place has some life to it. Aw, see, that perked her right up. The overload in your processing unit was more severe than I thought. You came to complain, but it was to the point of needing repairs. I thought it would get better once I relieved some stress. If I left the unit as it was, I figured I'd be seeing you soon for the same request, so I replaced it with a higher-end unit. It hasn't been too long since your last checkup. What happened to damage it so much? Hold on, that's what I'm about to tell you. You know I work at a pharmaceutical company, right? Oh, here we go. We're gonna get Leanne's dark backstory. I'm excited. Let's hear it. I've heard a lot about your life, Miss Leanne, every time I do repairs. A new researcher joined the company recently. They say he's incredibly talented or something. A company went to great lengths to scout him, so I guess that could be true. The problem is that talent isn't everything. Exactly. He came in through connections, yet he has this attitude of looking down on the existing researchers. Since he joined later, he thinks it's our duty to provide him with any project information he doesn't know. Don't worry, Ivory, I won't go that fast. I get the feeling this game is going to be very chatty about this subject. Anyway, the management is completely impressed with his papers and research achievements, so my colleagues and I had no choice but to do as he asked. More work for you. That would have been a relief. Problem is his attitude. If he were apologetic and grateful, it would be different, but he takes it for granted. Even though we're doing work we don't have to. I wonder if studying so much has fried part of his brain. A while ago, he said a colleague's research looked interesting, and he asked if he could take over the project. Huh. It almost turned into a shouting match, but our colleagues intervened and barely mediated. It's annoying, but thanks to him, we're free from the management's nagging. And we can buy time to improve the product's stability. Office politics. Feels a bit distant to me. Maybe for you. From my perspective, Miss Leanne, you don't seem much different from me. Aren't you talking about how hard it is to deal with the office politics you don't even care about? I'd like to say no, but I have to agree because of what happened a few days ago. A few days ago? Yes. Half of my unit's overload problems probably started that day. We fought. You fought? It wasn't really a fight. I just laid him out! Yes! Alright, just putting that military training to use. He disrespected our project. Said we were just wasting the budget by repeating clinical trials for years. He said the researchers' talents were being wasted, and asked if we had any intention of finishing this research and starting a more promising project. And he said it to my face, the project leader. I should have realized when management was blindly pushing for him. They couldn't win against us in a logical argument as non-experts, so it was a ploy to bring in another expert to break our resolve. That's pretty serious sabotage. Unfortunately for them, that Nepo hire's social skills were worse than imaginable, and he failed to change the team members' minds. You could even say we've grown closer. Some team members were even cheering me on and comforting me, even though I threw the first punch. Okay, come on, Chris. This is... You gotta put a ring on it right now, man. Close the shop, go to the nearest jeweler, get something nice, have it measured specifically for her finger. I'm positive you have the measurements on file somewhere. Come back, somehow hoping that she's still there. Propose right the fuck now. This woman is the definition of a keeper. My feelings were complicated watching him call an ambulance by himself because no one else cared. Must have been the guilt that followed the satisfaction. I had to write an apology letter, and the project's chances of survival dropped even lower. I wonder what would have happened if I had just held it in. There's a mountain of work to do, but the thought of running away came first. I want to forget everything. let's just rest. So I came to see you. All I do is listen to you talk a little. That's enough. And thanks to you, I've already sorted out my thoughts. Thanks to me? A place to hide whenever I want to run away. A way to regain some energy and find the courage to face the world again. That's the goal of our project. After running away here to rest, I found the courage to push through, and it made me feel that my project shouldn't end here. If the effect of just listening to a story, as you put it, is this great, our medicine will be a great help to the world. Can I ask what kind of medicine it is? I'd love to tell you. Miss Leanne's eyes sparkled as if her favorite topic had come up. It's a relief to see her back to her usual self. Our research institute mainly focuses on drugs that suppress memory. Yeah, I hate how these games never let you be socially non-awkward. I know, right? Like, you don't even have to, like, you don't even have to start, like, hitting her with some lines or anything. Just be sociable. Show some interest and not just echo the last thing she said. Like, sound interested in what she does. Ask some basic questions. It's not that hard to not be an idiot when talking to other people. You just need to actually be interested in them. Yeah, exactly, Octal. This conversation style is giving me some Metal Gear vibes, where there's a lot of parroting dialogue to emphasize it, and repeating lines past the point of utility, and kind of over-explaining things. It's not that the individual lines are bad, it's more the overwriting that kind of undercuts the character. I haven't tried it in real life, but I've heard people say it's worked well for them. You gotta find the approach that works best for you. You need to find a style of conversing with other people that gels with how you enjoy conversation. It's very tricky to find a one-size-fits-all approach to social engagement, especially if you are more on the introverted side, like I am. I get nervous when trying to do, like, standard office patter. I kind of need a reason to speak with someone. Otherwise, I just kind of feel awkward. And, I've gotten better at that over the years, and honestly, streaming has kind of helped with that. But, sincerely, it's hard for me to just shoot the breeze with someone unless there's structure to the conversation. I feel that. I'm not saying I'm some Rizzler, but I feel like if I was in this man's shoes, I'd already have an established harem, Seriously, this dude is getting some gold hand-delivered to his shop, and he's just whiffing it every at-bat. It's remarkable. Anyway, the primary goal is trauma suppression. He's talking about the medicine her company's working on. By the way, you might have missed it, Ivory, but she actually decked the asshole researcher that came in and tried to undermine her product. So this girl has absolutely made use of those knuckles there. Again, 100% wife material. Right, that's why we're delaying its release. I'm usually the dense one that gets cornered. Yeah. Again, Chris has Fate protagonist energy just shoved into a completely different setting. Alright. Although management recognizes this as a commercial success, sticking to a proven product, exactly. He made almost the same argument. His logic is that so long as it passes safety inspections and sells well, who cares on how it's used? In his defense, there's almost definitely some kind of ethical side to don't boink the clients that rely on you for repairs in their most vulnerable state. Yeah, again, we're being professional here, in as much as, engaging in personal conversation with a client while working on them can be. And I feel like the right thing to do in this case, you just have to bury those feelings and take them out on the red light district, which, opened back up after the last robot uprising resulted in 23 deaths or something. They'll win one of these days, I'm sure. Anyway, since I hardly see the sun, I guess we're still on vitamins, I guess. Chris is a man. Yeah, unfortunately you appear to be playing a defined character, which, not the end of the world, but does kind of limit the ability to get in this character's head. Especially when he is a dense motherfucker. Alright, when you try to recall them, the recollection process is interrupted or blunted. It's similar to how when you tamper with an EV's photonic neural network. You can distance yourself from terribly painful memories, but you can also lose your dreams, sometimes even your family's faces of precious memories. In severe cases, you can even forget that you're taking a memory suppressant. It's practically amnesia. Our institute is creating a drug that accesses specific memories and paralyzes only that part. Okay, so her company is making amnesia pills here, which, chalk up another point for cyberpunk dystopia, as if blocking out the sun wasn't enough. I may or may not be watching an anime right now about a teacher that got burned and is working in a demi-human school for a bunch of very cute girls that does put him in awkward situations and does his butt. Oh, is it, Interviews with Monster Girls? That's actually a really fun show, and that kind of does, like, a good job of a character that is trying to understand, like, his non-human students and the mechanics of how their, like, non-human aspects work without crossing professional boundaries. That was honestly, I like that show a lot, actually. Anyway, if we succeed, it won't be misused for kidnapping or human trafficking under the name of amnesia drugs. Yeah, I'll just bet. It comes back if you stop taking it, right? In theory, yes. No, oh, so that's not it. Oh, a misanthrope teaches a class for demi-humans. I suppose, yeah, there's probably a few shows that fit that category. But it seems there are cases where that's not true for the products on the market. It's also the fundamental reason for my long clinical trials. In Chroma City, there will be many people who need this drug, so frequent side effects are unacceptable. Although Chroma City is damn dark all day long, I'm not sure if there are that many patients who would want to suppress their own memories. The average patient doesn't seek a hospital until their condition worsens. Or, I've even seen someone try to fix a paralyzed finger with stretching. Right. Many people think of hospitals as a place to go for resurrection. This drug is also aimed at delaying neurological disorders caused by light deficiency, not just overcoming strong trauma. The blackout phenomenon. Do they call it zombies these days? That's what people usually call it, I hear. Right. The biggest cause of becoming a zombie is neurological disorder. Despite having no other problems beside light deficiency, extreme trauma accumulates due to nervous system issues. If this drug is completed, the number of zombies on the street will be reduced by more than half. Zombie prevention and trauma care. Sounds good. The fact that there's a way to get memories back seems good, too. Just a chill and easy watch. Season is relatively light and the characters are fun. Nice, nice. Yeah, I appreciate slice-of-life stuff that takes a fantastical premise and puts it in a relatively mundane context. Like, there's a show, I forget the title of it, but the premise is an invisible man is dating a blind woman. And it's, for the most part, just, like, relatively normal, like, romantic comedy fluff happening with their relationship. But they do some interesting things with both characters, and it's kind of a fascinating case where you take a relatively simple character dynamic and twist it in just a couple interesting ways. I like what I've seen so far. And, let's see. Does she think we found a common interest? I would pay $10 for someone to research when and why so many anime is named in several full sentences now. Yeah. Like, light novel titles have gotten out of hand. I feel like you could probably write a master's thesis on that. Okay, if you erase your memories every time things get tough, I feel like you'll end up with nothing left someday. Even today's Miss Leanne will go back to face reality tomorrow. You'll do your best to handle the accident and finish the project, right? Well, yes. There are times when you have to do something, but you just can't. Trauma is one of them. There's a hole in your heart. It needs to be filled, but it hurts too much. With a hole, it's impossible not to feel weak in both body and spirit. You need to step back and recover, but you can't because the hole is in your own body. I thought the medicine you're making was for situations like that. That's right. It's very difficult to fix something that's collapsed from the inside. Probably because of web novel. The Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife? Yeah, that's the title, yeah. I thought it was something relatively straightforward. I've only seen a couple episodes, but it's a cute idea, and so far it's reasonably well executed. So far, sometimes it's more important to get away from it and preserve your body and mind. I want the patients to be like you, Miss Leanne. A way to regain some energy and find the courage to face the world again. I mean, I hope they solve the problems they postponed with a mended, strong mind and body. Like today's Miss Leanne. As they said in a certain manga, right? There's no paradise in this place you escaped to. Since it's your medicine, Miss Leanne, I hope it turns out just as you wish. Aw, you got her blushing. Somehow, some way, Chris managed to turn on his game, probably completely on accident. I thought that was a pretty cool thing for me to say. Miss Leanne lunged at me. Oh, here we go. Actually, wait. Maybe she's getting angry here. That expression does actually look kind of intimidating. Now that you said that, I'll be sure to protect the project. Okay, now let me go. Let me hug you a little longer. Yeah. Yeah, nope. Time for death by snoo snoo. Just a little. Miss Leanne, with teary eyes, after making a wonderful vow and having a bit of a tantrum. She must have had her own pain, unrecognized by anyone. Look at the time. I should go to the cafe where Prey works for lunch. Right. Oh, okay. We've got to see what's up with Blade. That's going to be our next customer. 6 episodes out for so far. Not my genre wheelhouse, but beats the demi-human romance from last season, where full-on bipedal dog and a human girl were romantic. That was awkward to see clips of. Oh, yeah. That can get... You can explore someone as a romantic partner who is not entirely human, but there's a sliding scale where it stops being interesting and starts being weird. Consult the furry chart, people. It's there for a reason. So what happened is that web novel is massive, and the long titles evolved as a way to advertise the content of your story in the long title-based list of the works you find there. Oh. Okay. So that actually makes a little more sense. So it's kind of a way of getting eyes on the screen because that's the primary point of contact. Anyway, Tier 2 power unit, Tier 2 neural unit, 2 of each, quick. Sir? What are you staring blankly for? Excuse me, customer. Are you by any chance in front of me right now? Can you only see the visible light spectrum? Yes, haven't had the optic nerve digitization procedure done. You're not even up to the basics of this city. This fucked up neighborhood where it's night the moment you open your eyes. If you live seeing only visible light, you'll soon get a neurological disorder and become one of those drooling idiots out there. I subscribe to Neon Shine regularly, so I don't really need it. Oh dear. We have an idiot here who offers money to that damn corporation. Alright, I think Blade is going to be an edgy sort of customer here. You're either a foolish sucker brainwashed by the media, or a crazy bastard born with a silver spoon who thinks money grows on trees. Yeah, wake up, sheeple. I don't know what kind of life you're living, but I'm too law-abiding to live by your ways. I'm amazed someone with their head this far in the clouds is still in this city. It's a wonder you're walking around on your own 2 feet. Look, buddy, do you need work here? What's going on? Customer, please deactivate your optical camouflage, and if you're not getting a repair, please leave. Brat, why are you suddenly recommending I deactivate my optical camouflage? To do a repair, I need to scan and replace the unit, but I can't see you at all, so I can't do a proper repair. Is that the only reason? You got a knack for comedy. Why would you replace it? I could just swap it out myself. Swap it out yourself? Just as a person can't perform surgery on themselves by cutting open their own stomach and messing with their organs, an EVE also cannot open its core section to replace a unit by itself. Nothing is impossible, brat. You just pop the lid, swap the unit, and close the lid again. If you make a small mistake in the process and power down forever, then that was just the extent of your life. Okay, yeah. Again, I'm getting some... Blade is living up to their name. We are dealing with someone who is 100% edge here. I'd appreciate it if you just shut up and make the unit. Sir, as much as I'd love to just shut up and make it for you, as the manager, I also have to think about the reputation of my repair clinic. Even if I die without anyone knowing, no one will blame this place. Even if my head gets blown off by a corporation's summary executioner's bullet while walking down the street, everyone will think it's a natural death. How can I be sure of that? Blade. Blade Hamilton. Mention my name in the back alley 3 blocks from here, and everyone will understand. So now, what you need to do is wipe that stupid look off your face and synthesize the units for me. This person is impossible to reason with. Understood, Mr. Blade. I'll make the units for you first. What units did you want exactly? I told you already. Tier 2 power unit, Tier 2 neural unit. Carve it into your stupid head so you don't forget. Damn it. Please wait a moment. Create units for a lunatic. Okay. I have to see where this goes. Alright. You get all kinds here in Chroma City. Looks like these are going to be fairly involved. So let us slot you here and slot you there. Oh wait, right. There we are. And... Oh, shit, damn it. Yeah, it's alright, we kind of needed that. Beautiful. Alright, that's one. So far, so good. This guy is definitely not going to turn out to be some kind of mercenary who, like, blows up a hospital or something. I have good feelings about working for someone named Blade Hamilton. Here we go. Oh, shit, damn it. Alright. And, here we go. Yeah, hospitals are so yesterday. Orphanages are the new hotness to blow up. Sorry for the long wait. Faster than I thought. Synthesized units are clean, too. Despite your dumb first impression, you're more skilled than you look. Thanks for the compliment. Since I'm in a good mood, let me give you a piece of advice. You better erase that psychotherapy introduction on your door. Place I went to last week to get it on with a big-breasted EVE had the same thing written on it. I appreciate the advice, but that's my clinic's identity. I don't think I can change it. Instead, if you deactivate your optical camouflage next time and let me repair you directly, you'll be able to properly experience the service. As long as you have that thing dangling between your legs, no service will be possible for me. Alright, yep. Chris is not an equal opportunity robot psychotherapist, it would seem. Or at the least, Blade is not open to that, but yeah, whatever. His loss. Take care, Mr. Blade. See you next time. Don't count on it. Dealing with insane customers is incredibly draining. Should close up for today and soothe my tired body and soul with a can of beer. Hey, it's Prey again. Yep, a confirmation that Chris is definitely male. Yeah, we did, like, see him in the introduction. Just kind of, he definitely has that, like, generic generic anime everyman look. And that fits with the tone of the writing he has. Anyway, high-risk Adam suppressed in city. Summary executioner, between fear and salvation. Yesterday's rampage of a high-risk Adam in the city center was quelled early by the deployment of Sunshine Corp's summary executioners. The eliminated unit was confirmed to be an autonomous data anomaly manifestation, having entered LDS Stage 3 blackout with self-data lost and only slaughter instincts remaining. To avoid repeating the nightmare of the first Eve Adam, Sunshine Corp emphasized periodic photonic cleaning via Neon Shrine is the only preventative measure, and executioners are the last bastion to delete system errors that have already occurred. The emotionless summary executioner eliminated the Atom without hesitation again, but the view from the scene is complicated. Due to the complete immunity granted by the government, compensation for the damage to citizens caught up in the suppression process remains elusive. Yeah, Adams and Eves, huh? Getting some symbolism here. I wonder what it could possibly mean. Anyway, citizens' eyes, looking upon the summary executioners... excuse me. The shield protecting Chroma City and the blade of terror reigning above the law cross perilously between relief and trembling. I had a dream about being beaten by an invisible man. Since I couldn't see him, I couldn't fight back and just got beaten up. Not exactly a pleasant feeling. Is it because of that customer from yesterday? Phew. I hope only decent customers come in today. So yeah, I think you get the gist of it. It's an interesting take on what I was talking about earlier, where you've got a fantastical setting, in this case, fantastical in a science fiction sense, meaning like surreal. Something about it is different from our world in a way that's what would seem exotic to us is mundane, and it's this character's job to just exist in this world and do things that aren't save the world, but interact with people. That part, I think, is interesting. The main limitations are the writing definitely needs some cleaning up. It feels like there's just a lot of exposition in the wrong areas, and not necessarily in ways that further the characters. But the premise and the mood are still kind of strong. And there is something about the banter that happens as you solve these puzzles, and you're lightly focused on this module, but it's simple enough that you're able to converse with this person. It feels like something a trained mechanic would be able to do. Let's at least see if the next client has a cute design. Sure, you got it. I think we're seeing Prey again. Optical camouflage? I can't believe that symbol of crime is being used so openly. Has the city given up completely on security? It's not so much they've given up, but rather adapted. Most homes and shops have at least one infrared sensor for security. Even if they can't catch the thermal optical camouflage, they can at least easily detect regular optical camouflage. Hey, mouth's getting dry here. Out of coffee. If you use that, military intervenes instead of the Urban Stability Agency, so you need some serious guts to try it. Thanks to that, the citizens of Chroma City can rest easy and entrust their safety to infrared sensors. Living there sounds exhausting. I think hide and seek is part of daily life. Because of that, life here is never boring. It's not boring, it's just troublesome. You have to endure minor inconveniences to be worthy of living in the city of miracles. Miracle's my foot. It's just a neighborhood that's dark and gloomy all day long. Why neon signs filling every corner look even more dazzling? The night of this street, where humans, EVEs, and neon signs mingle, is more beautiful than any day elsewhere. Okay, considering all the depressing shit that Chris said about this before, I feel like he's either buying into the propaganda or he's slowly going crazy. It's probably not night, but EVEs filling the streets that captivated you. Yeah, Michelle gets it. You got metal fever, boy! Metal fever! Seems like yesterday you were whining about not having money for food. Who was it that begged Mom and Dad to save him? I paid it back, with interest. Yeah. Looks like a customer's here. You're not sulking, are you? No, I'll hang out with you again tomorrow. He's sulking. Definitely sulking. I'm not sulking! Hey! Good to see you again, Prey. Do you know you're laughing very evilly right now? Really? Normally I would have picked a fight and looked for something fun to do, but today I'll generously let it slide. Miss Prey, speaking as a professional, it looks like you need immediate maintenance. EVE neural network issues often accelerate over time. We need to start right away. As expected, your buzzkill reactions are the best for regaining my stability. Yeah, she gets it. Prey, I think, is the standard girl in the harem situation that everybody expects the protagonist to get to, and they have the most screen time, but also is kind of the most standard in her design and interactions. There's not a lot about her that stands out, but she's just a nice, wholesome girl that's there to be a foil for the others. Yeah, she has main girl energy. Alright. A high-ranking executive from Sunshine Corp was attacked and went missing on the outskirts of the city. That person from a few days ago. Definitely. They haven't released the identity, but I doubt there's more than one executive visiting the outskirts at this time. Since Polar Night's just around the corner, the city's big festival coming up, they wouldn't have enough leisure to obsess over trivial things like streetlights. Unless there's someone a bit weird. Her feelings about a nuisance. Prey's resentment seem quite deep. Maybe there's something more she hasn't told me yet. Are you worried because a kidnapping happened nearby? It's not that. It's not that I'm not worried at all. But if I were scared of that, I would have run away to the next city a long time ago. It's not a big deal. Continuous focus adjustment of the ocular lenses. I think Chris is reading off symptoms here. Irregular core pulsation. This is a common phenomenon when power is being diverted elsewhere. But right now, there's no noticeable physical activity or computational load. That means you're preparing for an emergency. These are typical signs of an anxiety or fear response, you know? Well, what do you know? First-class core section engineer, photonic neural network restoration specialist, EVE body maintenance technician, certified. I'm an EVE management and inspection expert. Getting cottonmouthed here. Certified by Chroma City. And the person who opens up your body at least every week to check for problems, if you know what I mean. I hate it! What exactly does she hate? Don't talk about my condition as you please. The talk about raising the neon shine subscription fee is gone, and the street light removal plan was scrapped too. Only good things are happening. I don't know what happened, but you can be honest with me at least. Cinderella helps, because I left a post. Cinderella, already a famous dark hero in cyberspace, a figure whose existence is ambiguous, indeterminate whether a group or individual, famous for assassinating key figures in corporations or drug cartels, and leaving a glass slipper conspicuously at the scene. His activities gain support from the impoverished filled with spite, and mass-produce countless fans. But there had to be a sour side to his actions. Okay, so we got a vigilante out there who appears to be icing people, and they've got some fans, but they're doing some. Sounds like they're not too discriminate with their targets. Discriminating. And yeah, you're getting your copycat thing. We're getting the like silver case, like serial killer energy here, where there's like a mimetic property, and people are celebrating this, but also acting as copycats. I don't know, kind of all over the map here. Probably foreshadowing future waifu. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a full-on murder wife here. Worry and fear are separate emotions. Even for experts, the risk of misdiagnosis is high without detailed analysis. It's just worry. Because copycat crimes using Cinderella's fame happen often. Right. What, suddenly? His neural unit is connected to the sympathetic nervous system. Tension is immense even with a light press. How much did you push yourself? Might be completely burned out. It's not that bad. I'm just trying to see if there's anything... Mouth is empty, looks like you rewarded yourself in a different way. If we let tonight pass, it could be really dangerous, so we better replace it. Alright, replace Prey's overloaded neural unit. But yeah, I think you get the idea. So it's basically slowly peeling back the layers of intrigue in these characters' lives, and there's a plot happening in the background, and you only have this narrow window into it. Which, that part I think is interesting, and could lead to some narrative developments that might be, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say Papers, Please-ian, where your window into this is small and your range of interaction with the plot is limited, but you become aware of bigger goings-on, and you have your own little struggles as you're trying to survive things that are obviously dwarfing your concerns. There's something to that is hard to summarize in a single word, but I do kind of like that. Valhalla had that feeling, and this game kind of does as well. Again, the dialogue definitely needs some tightening up, but the characters are interesting, and I do kind of like the style it has. So I think I'm going to keep up with this, and I want to see where it goes. Yeah, glory to cyborg stuff. Exactly. But yeah, I think we'll call it there. I think you get the idea. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good night, and I will see you next time, which is... One thing in this game's favor, it doesn't lose audio when it loses focus. Take that, modern game designers. Next showing will be the 21st for more Clair Obscure. So, until then, have a good night. See you next time.